little, sorry.
Wow, I feel a lot short now.
You can see it.
Welcome. Sorry, I'm opening it up so I can see things.
Right.
Yay. Okay. Welcome. Allie needs to turn off her volume.
She's new to this. Hey, look, we're live.
We are. Yay. All right. So we wanted to take a few minutes tonight and do some introductions for people who might not know us. I know that you're all really familiar with me and Jen because we talk at you all the time.
All the time.
But we wanted to make sure you knew the whole group. This isn't the whole crew, but the family part of the crew. We love all of the other part of the crew too. Okay?
And we adopt them too.
No, there's nothing personal there. We love them. Okay, so if you've ever wondered why we're JK Quilts, it's her fault. This is Mom, also known as Jenna Lynn Kesler. So there's the J and the K.
Just joking. Just kidding.
Just kidding. People have walked in to like try and buy gas, and they're like, "Ha, JK, it's Quilts." Anyway, and we're like, "Yeah, you're so funny." But anyway, welcome.
We did name ourselves that before we rented a gas station.
This is true. Very true. Okay, so introductions once again. This is Jenna Lynn. She's also known as Mom. And if you were at the shop today, or if you're here anytime she's working, we do just call her Mom. And that's because I don't know how to just call her Jenna Lynn unless I'm thinking about it.
Because I'm Mom.
That's Mom. This is Sarita, and if you are a regular shopper here, you know Sarita because she's here most of the time. She's our GM. That's what we call you, right? She's our general manager person. Right. And then there's Jen over there. Y'all know her. She does classes and long arms and live videos with me along with other crazy stuff. I'm Liz. You guys probably are tired of me, but I do all of our social media marketing and all, the things you see all the time. That's what I do at home. I live on my phone and I work that way. And then this is our little sister, Allie. She's recently joined us. She's handling a lot of extra work for us, which is awesome. Plus, she's our super duper photographer. Right. So that's really cool. We're happy to have a professional photographer on board rather than, you know, just me and my phone, which still does a lot of our pictures. Anyway, but I was going to let Mom tell you guys kind of how we got started here because we like to tell people we accidentally opened a quilt shop and it's totally how it happened. So I'm going to let her tell you about it for a minute.
Okay, so a few years ago, I was raising my second family of 6 children, and I just really needed something to bring me some joy. And I started working on...
Outlet.
Yeah.
That's the word. Mom, raising a family is still joy.
Okay, outlet. Something.
We have to remind her.
Something other than... Yes. So anyway, so I started working on a quilt that I had bought the fabric for like probably 20 some odd years ago. And it actually went together really quick. I thought it would take me a year to make the quilt, and it took me a week or two, and I thought, well, that's fun. So I bought another quilt kit, and I really liked that. And then I had a friend, and she had a long arm, and I'm like, whoa, what's that? And she showed me, and she said, oh, you ought to go check out the road show. And I went and checked out the road show, and I bought a long arm. And my husband was so supportive. He's like, yeah, you need one of those. So then I had to figure out how to pay for my long arm, so I started quilting for other people. And then I thought, well, quilting's an expensive hobby. I need to be able to buy fabric wholesale. So I got a wholesale account, and to do that, you had to buy a lot of fabric. So then I thought,
it's not cheaper just to buy fabric wholesale.
So I had to make. You have to buy your first order had to be like $2,000 or something. Anyway, so I thought, well, I'll make kits, you know. So I started making kits, and then I thought, well, I need to be able to sell these online. And I asked Sarita if she'd help me make a website. So Sarita made me a website. So that's when we became JK Quilts. And then Liz and Jen started thinking...
And then your garage got full.
Yeah, then my garage got full of fabric, and Liz and Jen started making quilts for me to practice on. And we have lots of really ugly quilts. Some of
my quilts were really pretty.
No, the piecing is awesome. The quilting is, you know... There's a learning curve on the long arm.
It's not you.
No, guys, seriously, like one of the first quilts I quilted on Mom's long arm, I was like, you know, it'd be really pretty with this white and cream quilt. Purple thread. Guess what was really not pretty on this white and cream quilt?
We've learned that we don't love bright colored thread on white.
So,
by experience.
Yeah, Yeah, if I ever tell you, oh, you don't want that, it's because I did it. It's ugly.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So anyway,
It's in
then
the
I
closet.
started quilting for Liz and Jen, and then they started wanting to quilt themselves, and then they said, well, this would be fun, and then we decided to have a little bazaar at Christmas time, and we made stuff, and we had our fat quarters and things and we had this little bazaar in my living room.
Oh my gosh, it filled her gigantic living room. I had no idea how much fabric she had until we pulled it all out for that.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So after the bazaar, we thought, you know what? I want to just stash all this back in my garage, and so my husband has
We have a bazaar like
office.
2 days a week.
My husband has an office building where his insurance businesses, and it just so happened that for the first time in like 8 years, we had 2 vacancies, and they happened to be the front 2 offices in the building. So I asked him if it'd be okay if I put a little quilt shop in those 2 offices. He said, sure, you know. So we put a little quilt shop in, and then gradually, you know, people move out of the offices.
We were going to be open. We started out 2 days a week?
2 days a week.
2 days
Short
a week
hours.
for like 4 hours a day, right?
Right.
That was our plan.
So that we did that for a little while.
Like
And
3
then
weeks.
we got really busy, and people kind of liked us, and people kept coming in, and so we started ordering more fabric, and then so we took over the next office, and then we took over the next office, and
the
pretty
one
soon we
after
owned
that.
we had half of the building full of fabric, and we were overflowing, and we were opening almost every day at that point. And then we decided, okay,
6 days.
we need to do this for real, and so we found this little building, which
Slice of paradise.
This is the convenience store where people who used to buy their gas and they come in here and pay for it, right? But it sat empty for probably 5 years.
Because the convenience store moved across the street.
Because they built a
But
fancy
don't worry,
convenience store.
the pumps are still right there.
And
the car wash.
The car wash is attached to our...
Right, so if you're
Our
ever in
shop.
one of my classes and you hear a rumble, rumble, rumble,
That's the car
somebody's
wash.
washing their car.
So, that's how we got here. We've been here for 2 years. 2 years today is how long ago we opened here. And
No, March.
it was March.
Wow.
Or, yeah,
Okay.
it was March 24th.
It's true. They told
Anyway,
me.
and that's how we accidentally opened a quilt shop.
Right.
So we just did it, you know, with our work and our time and
None of us got paid for like 5 years.
Really, it was more like 2.
For you.
we were in this building
That's true.
for
It was longer for when it was just a
almost
website.
a year. We were here for almost a year before any of us took any money home.
But, you know, that's what allowed us to go from being
In 2 little offices.
in 2 little offices to having
Overflowing.
way too much fabric.
But we like fabric.
Because we just love what we do. We're like, who needs to be paid? Let's just buy more fabric.
This
Yeah.
is kind of true.
It is kind of true.
All right, but that's kind of our story about how we ended up here, which is fun. And if you were here pre-COVID, we usually had kids running around. That's kind of
Yep.
stopped. But
Yeah,
Oh,
kids
Allie's
got
kids
bigger.
were here today.
I say Andy comes in.
Andy's
in the
Yeah.
mornings.
What's funny is when people still think she's my youngest. They're like, oh, this is your little one. I'm like, no.
No.
She's way bigger.
No, my little one's 5.
She's grown.
Yeah, they got bigger. And but I'm gonna let you. But I don't know about you guys. If you guys have worked with family before, family dynamics are awesome. And sometimes you get along great, and sometimes not so much. But we figured out how to make it work. And Serena's gonna tell you.
And we get asked a lot.
We get asked a lot how in the world
Why we can still stand each other.
we don't hate each other.
We work together and it works and we get along.
And it's not because we're all super complacent, compliant.
We're some of the most opinionated
Right.
people there
We're
are.
just so nice.
And passive.
What it really
We
comes
should
down
not.
to is that we we came into it one at a time. So I started doing the website and the management side of things, and my sisters came in where they had the talent with the fabric samples and things, and we found that people just kind of used the talents that they had. So I'm really more of the organizational person, the business person, and my sisters are super talented, and so they do lots of the sewing and learning and teaching, lots of the product testing, so they can tell people what they like. They're the
I
artisans.
like calling myself a product tester.
Yes.
So much fancier than I take home
So
stuff.
we kind of use our talents, and not only that, we appreciate each other's talents. So, you know, before we had a quilt shop, Jen would like make these amazing things, and I'd be like, Jen's always making these amazing things, and I don't, so I'm a loser. So then Jen and I had tension between us. And now it's like, Jen makes all these amazing things, and it's awesome because our quilt shop is so successful because Jen is so amazing. And I have these other areas that I am amazing.
Right.
And we pulled Liz in with her super good innate
I don't
talent
know.
for marketing. I mean, I don't know
What
but
I'm super good at.
what she posts, people likes. And what other people post, people are like, whatever. But people like Liz. So Liz keeps posting. And then Allie's like, I don't really want to sew. And we're like, okay, we need photographs. So she's been doing photographs for years by herself, and she does an excellent job if you need a photographer. But
Great family pictures.
we also needed a photographer. So now we drew her, and finally she's one of us.
And she has her own tall quilt holder, which
Right.
is handy.
Very cool.
Yeah,
His name is Chaz.
His name is Chaz. Yes. And my tall quilt holder is appreciating the break.
And
That's the
of
deal.
course we kept Mom around because she's Mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, she has some great talents, like, bringing us all together and making us be kind to each
She
other.
comes up with bright ideas and then we implement them.
Oh, no, or we say, Mom, I'm only one person. Slow down.
Start
like,
coming up with more ideas.
It's really fun, but no.
I'm not doing that. She
And I
really,
say okay.
she really is the brains, though. She's the one who's always coming up with ideas, and I find a way to make them work when I can because I'm the engineer. So I think
Yes.
it works pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so one of our favorite things, we love to buy fabric. Clearly, if you've been in the shop, you can see we don't sell machines, we sell fabric because we love it. So, but we all have different tastes. And if you've been around us very long, you've probably gotten an idea of what some of those are. But I had each of these guys bring some sort of project or grab a kit that kind of showcases their particular style. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Jen.
Okay.
Tell us more about, do you want your quilt?
I don't know.
Start with her quilt.
Yep.
Okay,
Grab
my
your
quilt. So Liz said, get a quilt that represents you. And I was like, I don't know what represents me.
We need a tall quilt holder. Where
Right.
are the husbands?
The husbands are all at home with the children.
Yeah. there's that.
Anyway, I grabbed this one, not because this is my favorite designer. I mean, I really do like Lori Holt, but I have a lot of favorites. But what I loved about this one is it incorporates, like, all of the stupid things I like to do. I really do love little pieces. The smaller the pieces, the happier I am. I like details, so adding a little bit of embroidery, like the crop and stuff, just, I mean, it adds such good things to it. And the applique and handwork makes me happy, so. And then this is also one that I did some playing around with free motion quilting on and custom quilting. I don't usually do that for customers because I'm one person, I don't have time. I do a lot of other things, but I do like to play around with it a bit myself for some of my own quilts. Anyway, this is a quilt that I did for me, and I kind of love it, but I do like a challenge. Before we had a quilt shop, I was all about, I mean, if you remember several years ago, we were up at Stitch and Snip, which is an awesome local shop up in Garden Valley, and Mom was like, hey, if you guys each want to pick a quilt kit, I'll get it for you. And I was like, well, this is awesome, because at the time, like, we were church mice poor, and I didn't spend money on hobbies, really. And so I was like, well, I gotta get a bang for my buck here, or for Mom's buck here.
I'm pretty sure I paid for that. She had to pay me back.
Yes, that's true.
Anyway,
You also
so
have
I
memories that
picked
last forever.
a block of the month that they had up there that was all in one package, where every block was different and it had techniques I'd never done before.
I didn't get any
Because I'm
idea what the
like-
techniques were.
Right. And I was like, well, this will be a challenge. So I picked that because, we can't go with something simple.
Not in this family.
So, right. So my style is, oh, that's hard. I don't know how to do it. I want to do that. Yeah.
That's
Right?
mostly
I'll
it.
never forget the day Jennifer said, I've got to go home and learn how to do such and such
secret.
because
Oh.
I need to teach it tomorrow.
You're not supposed to know that she does that.
I only did that like once.
I think it was needle turn.
It was
applique.
needle turn applique. I was doing a demo on several different ways of doing applique, and I just never done needle turn
She
before.
usually does know what she's talking about.
And so I went home that night.
She always knows what she's talking about because everything she learns sticks. She knows
Yeah.
and she
And-
remembers everything.
Right. So I really like the challenge. So Liz told me to pick a kit in the shop that would be mine if I could take it home today. And well, I already did
She
take
has
it
this
home.
one at home.
This is called Honeycomb Abstractions.
Turn that around so they can see how enormous this is.
It's a very large kit. It's got like
fabrics on the back.
70 some odd different fabrics in it. And it's foundation paper pieced. So these little tiny bees on here, those are pieced. They're not appliqued.
in a million different pieces.
And I've already made several of them, and they're awesome. So this was my pick because you know what? It's okay that it's hard. I was a kid, like when I do my classes, I'm like, I don't know about my resume. I don't know if I have a resume. I teach classes because I learned how to do stuff and I explain it to people. Mm-hmm. And that's my resume for teaching.
She's a good teacher.
So,
So yeah.
People keep coming back.
Yeah, right. So accept a challenge. It's not like I've been doing this for 40 years and I know better. Because I'm not 40.
You're not quite 40 yet.
Not quite 40. Haven't been doing it 40 years.
I'm not that old.
You're not that old?
I'm not.
All right, Sarita's up next.
You're pushing.
So, I do smaller projects, as she said. I'm in the shop most of the time.
All the time.
All the time. I sometimes go home and sleep. So this one has my favorite color.
It's blue. If you don't know that.
Yeah, and it has a little bit of piecing, a little bit of applique, but it all came together really fast. So this is something that I've made that sort of represents me. And I picked a blue project, surprise. This is a crinkle cut. It's done with the Moonlight.
Milky Way.
No, Moonlight. It is Moonlight.
Moonlight fabric bundle. Jen made the Milky Way kit with the stars that everyone loves. But since Jen already made that, I think I would do this one. Plus, this is a little bit easier, so that's totally me.
And it uses all the fabrics.
And it uses all of them.
Yeah.
So that's my story. It's called Crinkle Cut.
Very nice.
All right. Okay, Mom.
Okay.
Ooh,
She had to bring
on.
a king size
really
quilt.
tall.
She would bring a king size
Hey,
quilt.
Mom, you gotta go around. You can't talk from behind it.
You have to be sure that you hold it right side up because
know
this
what right
has a
side
right
up
side
is.
up.
Which way?
I still have
I'm not tall enough to hold it anyway. Turn it. The leaves, the stems.
Okay.
There.
Oh my gosh.
So this is Forest Floor, and this is the first Wing and a Prayer block of the month that we did. And I really love it for a lot of reasons. I like that all the blocks are different. Look, here? Okay. And I really like the colors in it. And I really liked was a very challenging quilt to custom quilt, which I do for myself, but I don't really do for other people because I'm not that good at it. But what I love about this quilt too is my very favorite thing to do in the whole wide world is go to my cabin in the forest and sew. So this is Forest Floor, and this lives on the bed in my cabin, and it's just quilting in my cabin is what I love to do. So that's why I brought this one.
Awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
Now,
Okay, so if I get to take one home today, it's this one because I love these colors. I really, really love bright colors, and I just really like that quilt. Yeah, I want to eat that
it's
pineapple.
Pineapple Party if you can't hear what it is.
Yes, Pineapple Party. And so, look at those colors. Awesome.
and Jen's going to teach a skill builder class with that kit.
Yes.
Series. Sport
Series.
classes.
Series.
Yep.
All right.
Okay,
See if I can
so
get back up on my chair.
I grabbed one and then I realized this was back there, so I'm grabbing it instead. Besides that, my other one is 90 inches tall. So, first of all, you have to find it right side down. But you guys, this is the back, and this makes me so happy.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
And
All
you'll
right.
see why.
This is you guys saw some pictures of it on Instagram and whatnot. This is Stitch Happens, and it's not so much that it's a sewing machine, which I love. I've made this before in a different color scheme, like fabric scheme. But brights are my jam. And bright, crazy, oversaturated colors are really my thing, especially if they work in a rainbow.
Right.
But that's why my living room's gray. Don't ask me.
So
So I can put all my
showcase
bright
all your
colors
colors.
in my living room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So this features all Allison Glass prints. It's a Kelly Fannin, who is awesome, pattern. And this is an Allison Glass print on the back because it's an ombre rainbow, and it just absolutely had
With
to
all
happen.
her little trinkets.
And anytime I'm able, if you guys have been in the shop, you've seen 1,000 rainbow projects.
Right.
And that's because they're mine. In fact, this whole wall behind us is Liz's fault. And
Yes.
I feel bad about that, but I don't. Because
It's a
it's
great wall.
awesome.
You're growing out of your wall, just so you know.
Right, your wall's full. It's actually
I-
overflowing. I know.
Yep.
But it's awesome.
No more room on the wall.
Anyway, so anything bright, rainbowy, super saturated, totally my thing. If I were to take a kit home today, it could be the Stitch Happens kit, but it's not because I just made it. It'd be this one.
That is so
It's
cute.
Stacy East Shoes on the Go kit. It's airplanes, you guys. And I have I have 2 little boys, and one of them has airplanes all over his room. And I would, if I had some free time in my life right now, except that I already made him an airplane quilt, I would totally make this for him. But he does actually have 2 airplane quilts on his bed.
Right.
But I would still like to make it because you can't have too many quilts.
That's right.
I have too many quilts.
No, you can't.
If you've been in my
It's our
living
motto.
room, you might think I have too many quilts, but
They'll never be cold.
It'll never be cold.
that's what I tell people. They come to my house and they're like, what do you do with all these? I'm like, yeah, there's 8 quilts on my sofa, but guess what? 8 different people sit on my sofa and they all get to snuggle up under a quilt. And it's awesome.
Right.
So-
So that means you're. A
I don't feel bad at
very
all, actually.
Good hostess.
That's right.
Exactly, right? I provide you something to snuggle in. All right, and Allie is
I'm not a quilter.
she does sew. She knows how.
I know how
she
to
makes
sew.
her
That's
cute
right.
little boys
My-
matching ties.
I do ties and I
Mhm.
do bows for the girls. But I'm very simple. I don't do rainbow. I don't do like
Her-
crazy mixed
Her
patterns.
house
like
is
Mom.
monochromatic.
I'm very monochromatic. They make fun of me because the grays and blacks and tans like would be my thing.
Right.
That's
But
okay.
this is the kit I would pick because I know I could do it. It's simple. But the beauty of it is I like these colors okay, but I like these colors even better.
It's done with Rocky Mountain Wild,
They're
which is
so
gorgeous.
pretty. If I had to, like, the colors that are in my house are like this. A simple
Like a soft
pinks
palette.
and blues and mustards. Yeah, very soft palette. So this would be my gem. And it's totally something I can do. So if you're a beginner like me, or don't do anything like me.
She
Oh,
raises
it's
my
fun.
kids and all
I
sorts of
raise
other
my
things.
kids, and
Hannah
I
has a
actually...
photography
I put 2 pieces of Mickey together and give it to Mom to quilt. That's how I quilt.
Yeah.
And
That's
I love
right.
it. Actually, they're my kids' very favorites. So
Good.
love it.
Alrighty. So I think.
Okay, real quick, I want to do one more thing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead. No,
You.
go.
Okay.
It was uh-oh about
I just
you.
wanted to tell you
Referencing you.
one more thing about all of us. Allie is a nurse. Liz, her background is landscape architecture or landscape horticulture. Landscape horticulture. Mine is microbiology and chemistry. Sarita is a civil engineer, and Jennifer is an art history major. So we have a wide
I like that it's a
variety.
major, not a profession.
it's not right.
Well, art history is a profession without an advanced degree. So, and she was
It's a good
working on
degree.
an advanced degree, and then she had a whole bunch of kids, and she just hasn't finished it yet.
No. Just need one more semester.
She
She
doesn't
speaks
she
about
doesn't
3
need any more
languages
school
and
to
all that kind of
to
stuff.
teach.
And
quilting classes.
yeah,
Anyway,
but anyway, so we are pretty.
we're all very educated in the non-textile industry. And
So instead we have a quilt shop and we just make it up as we go.
Although being an engineer has been really useful here because the geometry and trigonometry and
she's pulling out math words.
I don't know what is
Really, most
Anyway,
of what we do is
math.
algebra.
We do a lot of math.
I can do the math, but really problem solving, I
Yeah.
would say, is the biggest engineering skill that I use all the time.
Mhm.
Probably.
Put things together.
Yeah.
Yes, making it work. We're really, really good
Making it work.
at making it work.
I take all these talented people and I put all their skills together and I bring you a quilt shop.
That's right. So that's who we are.
But yeah, that's us. Welcome. You probably heard more than you ever wanted to know. But thanks for joining us tonight. Jen and I will be doing our live tomorrow morning. Kind of, barely.
Kind
It'll be
of.
short because our kids all have tennis camp. But
It's spring break.
it's spring break and
So-
there's, life. I love you guys, but I do things outside of the quilt shop. Like
Once
raise
in a
my
while.
children.
A few minutes. Anyway.
Not today. Not doing it today. I've been here all day long.
Oh, the sale.
Oh yeah, our sale goes through Friday, though, you guys. It's 20% off all things fabrics, so kits, bundles, pre-cuts, and actually yardage. We never put the yardage on sale, but it's on sale. With a minimum half-yard cut. I will cut you a quarter of a yard, but it will not be on sale. So, just to be clear. Our regular clearance sale is on Friday, so the clearance stuff will be the extra 20% off on Friday, but it's not extra off right now. And keep shopping, keep using those codes. Allie's gotten our shipping like all caught up, which is super amazing. And a giant pile, which is also super awesome. The mailman is gonna hate us tomorrow. He's gonna need a bigger truck. But
You said that to me before. I don't think I have room for all this stuff. I was like, oh.
come back.
You might have to make another trip. He's a little grumpy, so we have to tease him.
Well, we try not to tease him too much because otherwise he wouldn't really get like
really
destroy our
grumpy.
mail. Anyway, but thanks for letting us do what we love to do, because clearly we kind of enjoy this, and we couldn't do it without all of you guys buying the fabric and
That's
stuff, because we could buy all the fabric we want, but if we can't sell some of it, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks. We've really loved this, and hopefully next year we're in a bigger place. We'll see. By our
That's the
4-year
goal.
anniversary, the
A year
goal
from- year
is
from
a
now.
bigger place. But
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
That's what I do.
Yes, Mom does those kind of things, like getting loans and taxes done,
Ah.
which is great because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I can't even get my own taxes done. Anyway, we're gonna go before I get any crazier and lose my mind. And
Good night.
Good night.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
You have to cut
All
this
right.
off sometimes.